Helen Brums here, coming to you live from Sun City in Arizona. Hope you're all having a super fantastic, sparkling day. Welcome to Before the Dirt Nap podcast, number 1164. And as you can see, I have a guest this evening, and I am super, super excited to introduce Tiffany to you guys. So I'm going to quickly read her bio. It says Tiffany channeled the skills she honed as a teacher, school district administrator, and curriculum designer into building an international diamond-level direct sales business with doTERRA essential oils. And if you've been following me, you know I use those oils. Her mission is to share easy ways to incorporate plant-based medicine into our lives for the perfect balance of modern and natural wellness tools. She wants to shout from the mountaintops that you have options. She is living in her strengths when she listens and learns from others, then connects and creates ideas for strategic action to help herself and others get the hard things done more simply. She lives in Houston with her husband, Robert, and her 17-year-old daughter, Sofia. Tiffany, welcome to Before the Dirt Nap podcast.
Thank you, Helen. Thank you. It's so good to be here.
Finally got you on the schedule.
Yay!
Now, we were just oiling up. If you wondered what we were doing, we were just oiling up and getting ready. Because oils have so many different things. But to get us started, now we were talking earlier about how you have your lifespan, but we also have our health span, and one versus the other. So enlighten us.
Yeah, elaborate on that. So yeah, we have done, we're so blessed to live in the time that we do, right? Like the modern medicine is incredible. And we have increased the number of years that we're on this planet. Like we're living longer than we ever have. And yet, are we healthy for that entire time? Do we have good quality of life during that entire time? And in many cases, your health span, your lifespan may be this long, but your health span, the amount of years that you're healthy doesn't quite meet. And so then there's this gap at the end, right? Where we're unwell, and I think that you visit any nursing home or convalescent home and you just think, gosh, this is not how I want things to be for me at the end of my life. And so just thinking ahead and taking some proactive measures, we can extend our health span to shorten that gap.
I love that.
Mm-hmm. We want to do that before the dirt nap.
Of course, because we're all about living your best life now.
Exactly.
And one of the ways that we live our best life now is that we change our lifestyles so that we can live that healthy lifestyle and have that health span extended, so that when we slide in at the end, we can go, wow, what a ride.
I know. Like when I think about the ideal for me, it would be, having a day where I wake up and I'm playing with my grandkids who don't exist yet, but hopefully they will. And, having a full day and going outside and playing and maybe going to the beach and swimming and then coming home and having a big meal and then passing away quietly in my sleep. Like that would be perfect.
Well, I'm thinking, I was thinking you said grandkids. What about great grandkids? Great grandkids.
Yeah, that would be okay too.
Or even great grandkids. Getting those generations in there because of the health span, you're able to get in that extra time for those future generations to come along as well.
Absolutely, yes. Exactly. If we're gonna dream, let's dream big.
Exactly. That's what we're all about.
Mm-hmm.
Living our best life now. So, what are some ways that we can extend our health span?
Well, there are some lifestyle things that we can all do. Doesn't cost a thing. You got to move your body, right? And I think growing up, most of us knew that we have to, growing up, right? We always heard eat right and exercise, right? And that's true. Nutrition is foundational. Unfortunately, what we're getting from our food is not enough. We all have gaps in our nutrition, so we need to have some smart supplementation using vitamins that are actually absorbed by the body. Moving your body is really, really important. So my dad was just in a motorcycle accident. He was laid up for a month and a half, and it was incredible to see just how much muscle mass you lose if you're laying in a bed for a month and a half, and he was a really, really strong, healthy man, and to just see, he's got a lot of PT to rebuild that strength. But we can also do some other things that are really important that may not necessarily be on our radar besides nutrition and exercise. For example, getting good sleep, getting good quality sleep every night. Your body needs that time to restore and recover. That's during that deep REM restorative sleep is when your body is rebuilding and restoring, and your brain is resetting. Managing our stress levels is really important because inflammation is related to stress. And when inflammation happens, especially chronic inflammation over time, it can have really detrimental effects. It can cause us to age earlier, sooner, speeds up the aging process. Also, reducing our toxicity levels, our exposure to chemicals. We are exposed to more man-made chemicals in our life in one day than our ancestors were in a lifetime.
Wow. I mean, that's just...
It's disgusting. Yeah. And so if you look around and you think, my gosh, everybody around me, it seems like people are either, they have more allergies or there's more cancer, there's more autoimmune. It's not that we're getting weaker as a species, it's that we're exposed to so many chemicals on a daily basis. And we can't really control the air outside or necessarily, our outside environment, but we can control the things that we clean our house with and what we put on and in our bodies. And a lot of times we don't think about this, but your skin is your largest organ. What goes on your skin gets absorbed into your bloodstream. So you got to be really, really picky about your personal hygiene products.
I love shea butter. I love getting that stuff and adding my essential oils to it.
Oh, shea butter is amazing. Coconut oil and
love that too.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Avocado oil.
Yeah. And what are you using to clean with, right? You can use natural things. You can use things like vinegar and baking soda and things like that. And then you can add essential oils that have cleaning, antibacterial, antifungal, antiviral properties, like clove and cinnamon, peppermint, lemongrass, lemon. Yeah.
I actually get real lemons and I cut them in half and I squeeze the juice on my wooden chopping boards.
Yep.
And use that because it helps sanitize the chopping boards and it helps keep them white as well, keeps them that same color so they don't get that discoloration in them. But yeah, I add lemon oil into some of my cleaners and things like that to help with the antibacterial stuff that they do. And then you've got all the On Guard products that I love, and yeah. But
go ahead.
One thing that gets me around here, because we're in the resort, there's a lot of ants.
Oh.
And you see the little ant hills and everything else.
Yeah.
And and you quite often see the pest control guys come in and they're pulling out these long hoses, then going around and like I see them going around and spraying. I'm like, Zeph, and when we're out walking, I'm going, Zephy, we're going this way. And Zephy's like, I want to keep going that way. I'm like, no, we're going this way. And to get away from those chemicals so we're not breathing them in. But then around my RV, I've got an ant hill under the back of my RV. But they don't come inside because I put cinnamon, sprinkle it around the stairs and around the wheels and around the jacks and the hoses and things, and they don't want to go near it. And you get sometimes I get a cotton ball and put a couple of drops of cinnamon on it and put it out there if there's not too windy, and that helps as well because it diffuses and keeps them away. So I've noticed that anthill's not as active as it used to be.
Good. Nasty things. Yeah.
And we get fire ants down here too, so I haven't had the pleasure of being bit by one of those, so I'm glad about that.
I don't know if you ever, while we're talking kind of on the topic of cleaning, have you ever heard the story behind doTERRA's abode oil?
No, I haven't.
So it's crazy. It's amazing. It was an oil that is a blend of 10 different essential oils. And doTERRA tasked their R&D team to find a blend that would do the best job, cleaning surfaces, and so what they did is they took the 30 most well-known essential oils that are good for antiviral, antifungal, antibacterial, and they conducted over 100 different experiments in petri dishes using these 37 different oils separately against 5 common pathogens. So they tested it against black mold, E. coli, staph. There's one called Klebsiella, which causes respiratory pneumonia in hospitals and things like that. And then there was another one, I can't remember what it was. And after doing 100 experiments in petri dishes, they were able to narrow it down to the top 10 most effective essential oils against those things. And that became the Abode Blend. So when you put that in a spray bottle of water and you use that on your surfaces, like you can rest assured that it's taking care of business for you. And it
That's
smells
good, because I love products that will do that. And at the end of the day, I like to clean my counters in my kitchen and then spray them. I'm actually spraying On Guard on them right now, and just let it sit overnight. So when you come out the next morning, you've got these beautiful, clean counters that smell amazing. And
I mean, who doesn't love cinnamon, clove, rosemary, wild orange, and eucalyptus? It smells like Christmas in a bottle. It's just, yeah.
Whenever we go out walking, when I go out walking with Sofia and I have a feeling I might get in the car afterwards and go for a drive, I always have one of these in my pocket, because it's great hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
And it's not that chemical stuff that your body adapts to and stops reacting to and that sort of stuff. It's natural. Yeah. And so when we get in the car, because we've gone from walking straight into the car, I can sit there in the front, spray my hands, do a quick spritz on the steering wheel, and we're good to go. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, a lot of store-bought hand sanitizers contain a chemical called triclosan, and triclosan is a common contributor to the problem of antibiotic-resistant bacteria. It's basically helping to breed superbugs, and so yeah, no Purell in this house.
The only sand sanitizer.
I do that too. Do you know there's a name for that? That kind of, when you take the first letter and you switch them, there's actually a name for that.
Oh, it'll be interesting to find out. Yeah, but this On Guard, that's the only hand sanitizer that I have with me. It lives in my handbag. I have one in my handbag. I have one that I can put in my pocket because I don't want to leave it in the car because the car gets super hot being here in Arizona. So any of my oils are not in the car. I even have, I should have brought it over here. I have a laundry basket, and it has my laundry detergent in there, and it has woolen dryer balls. Yeah, that are made with New Zealand wool in Nepal.
Ooh.
So we're helping the minorities and that sort of things, or the other countries and stuff with purchasing them. But I also have in there citrus bloom, and what was the other one? The other citrus one. There's citrus bloom, and what's the other citrus one? Bliss, that's it. Yes, I have those in there, and I put 3 drops onto the dryer balls, and I mix them up and just toss them into the dryer with my clothes.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah.
And you're not, and then, because you know what, I used to have dry, itchy skin all the time, and I thought that was just my skin. I didn't realize I was reacting to the chemicals in the laundry detergent and in the dryer sheets. So yeah, it's very freeing when you start to minimize the chemicals in your house.
Well, the balls heat up with the heat from the dryer, so you start getting this beautiful citrus aroma in the lawn. And of course, I'm doing it here in the laundry rooms at the resort because I don't have laundry here in the RV. And so people walk in and go, "Oh, it smells so wonderful in here."
Yeah. I'll tell you another little trick. During the winter time, when it gets kind of staticky, just crunch up some aluminum foil into a ball and put that in with your dryer balls. And the aluminum foil, it's something to do with the ions. It reduces static.
Wonder if that works on the hair.
We should try.
Because my hair, when I wash it, goes.
Yeah. Here in Houston, my hair does that with the humidity.
My hair does it when it gets dry and staticky. But because we're here in Arizona, they say that you should come down here for the good of your health and the breathing and all of that. We have so many air quality alert days. And so I'm sort of like, okay, so I'm diffusing oils inside that help me breathe. And I've got the breathe oils there. but I love this vapor stick.
Mhm.
And if anybody loves Vicks Vapor Rub, this is a really good
Oh,
natural alternative because it smells exactly the same.
mhm.
And this stuff
That
here,
neroli.
I just take a little bit on the end of my finger and just go like this. And I'm set to go outside on the bad air quality days. And I also get one of the breathe lozenges and will suck on that while I'm walking. And that helps me to breathe easier on those bad air quality days
Yeah.
because it's filtering. It's basically they're filtering the air for me.
Yeah, it opens up your airways, helps you breathe, helps oxygenate your blood. I love to put it on my chest when I'm exercising. Just it helps me
Oh, I
with
haven't thought of that one.
stamina, get more oxygen. And when you're talking about your hair, your hair, your skin, your nails, we were talking about earlier when we were talking about extending your health span. Have you ever been to a class reunion and seen how some people seem to just age so gracefully, and they look 10, 20 years younger than other people who look,
Mhm.
but they can be the same age, right?
Yep.
And that's because wellness starts at the cellular level. And if you ever take a quiz, there are quizzes out there that you can take that'll measure your biological age, and you can
Some of
be,
those are scary.
I know, you can be 45 and have a biological age of 65, right?
Mhm.
Depending on the different stressors, depending on, things like your cholesterol, your blood sugar, your blood pressure, all of those things are all related to our metabolic health. And if you can get your metabolic health um, reset, and there are some ways that you can do that with some of the new doTERRA products. You'll find that your hair, your skin, your nails, your mood, your the way that you carry your weight or release weight, your energy levels, all of those things start to improve because you can reverse your biological age.
That's awesome. Now you mentioned the new products, which I wanted to bring up anyway. So that's a great segue into talking about the new products. They've just come out with the Metapower.
Metapower, yeah.
Yeah. So mine is scheduled to arrive on Sunday at my mail place. So I'm not sure if it will actually get delivered on Sunday or if it will get delivered on Tuesday since Monday is Columbus Day.
Mm-hmm.
So we will have to wait and see, but I can't wait to get these products. So tell us about these products and the results that you've had so far, because I know that you've been in it for a couple of weeks.
Right. So Metapower stands for it's METAPWR. So it's meta for metabolism, and then it's personal wellness routine. So Meta PWR, personal wellness routine, and basically what it's doing is it is helping to reverse your biological age through your metabolic health. And a lot of times when people think about metabolism, they're just thinking about it in the very simplistic terms of, if I eat this many calories and I burn them, then if I don't burn all of them, then the excess will become fat, right? And that's, I think for many people, that is the limit of what they think of when they think of metabolism. And they think, if I can speed up my metabolism, then I'll burn calories better and I will lose weight. But your metabolism is so much bigger than that. It's actually the definition, a layman's definition of your metabolism is how your cells process proteins, fats, and carbohydrates and sugars into energy that your cells can then do whatever job their job is, okay, and do it right. So whether it is cells that are meant to help you heal after an injury, or cells that are part of your bone structure or your skin, or cells that are involved in your brain function or your heart or your blood, right? And so something that is really, really amazing to me, well, so the Metapower is helping to basically make your metabolism work like it did when you were young. So you remember when you were a kid, it was crazy. And by the way, you can look some of these things up. A lot of this is based on the research of Dr. David Sinclair out of Harvard, who has done a lot of research and had some groundbreaking work in the anti-aging sphere. One of the things that he discovered is that when we're young, We have an enzyme in our bodies called NAD plus, and it is like so prevalent in our bodies. We have tons and tons of it, and it's a major component in over 500 different processes in our bodies. Over 500. And so when you think of when you were young, how you would wake up with that excitement in your belly for the new day, right? When was the last time you felt that? Or how quickly you would recover after an injury when you were a kid, and how you could eat whatever you wanted, and gaining weight wasn't even really a concern, right? Nor was digestive reflux and stuff like that. So when we get to about age 25, we start to lose NAD plus. Our body stops producing as much. By the time we're 50, we're operating at about half of our NAD levels.
Wow.
And that's when you start to feel things not working properly, right? And you don't recover as quickly. Your hair starts thinning, your skin starts to sag, you start gaining weight around your middle. Lots of things start happening. But Dr. Sinclair discovered that if you take a supplement that's called NMN, and there's a lot of synthetic NMN out there, and that's short for a very long name. NMN is a very
long scientific names that nobody can ever pronounce.
Yes, I'm not even going to try. But if you get the naturally derived NMN, okay, if you get the synthetic stuff that you can buy off Amazon, what's going to happen is you're going to have to take it in high doses. It's going to make you feel yucky and headachy and fatigue. But if you get the naturally derived stuff that's in our doTERRA Advantage drink mix, what happens is over the course of 2 weeks, so NMN is a precursor for NAD. It basically restarts your body's production of NAD. So in the clinical trials, 100% of the participants increased their NAD levels by 20% in 2 weeks just by taking one of these a day in water.
Nice.
So it's basically equivalent to turning the clock back 20 years.
Wow.
On a cellular level. So what's
30-year-old, yes.
Yes, and so what's happening, okay, I'll tell you about the other two, and then I'll tell you some testimonies from so many of us, including my own experience with them. That's one step. That's step number one. Step number two has to do with your glucose levels. So blood sugar. Every time we eat, our blood sugar spikes. Then it crashes a little bit later. And when it crashes, we get food cravings, right? Because our body's telling us, I need more sugar. So when it crashes, the insulin levels go up. So then we eat something which causes our blood sugar to raise, which brings our insulin levels down. Then it crashes and the insulin goes up. So we're doing this, okay? That up and down of your blood sugar levels throughout the day, day after day after day, one thing it does,
tiring.
It makes you exhausted. If you ever feel like you have to have a nap after a meal, that's why. But the other thing that's happening is when you have a blood sugar spike, a blood glucose spike, it causes your cells to age prematurely. It's called oxidation in your cells. And so that's another thing that's contributing to our our problems a few years down the road, right? And this is the long game. Where do we want to be in 5, 10, 20, 30 years from now? Mm-hmm. I certainly don't want to, that up and down of your blood sugar levels is kind of like getting a new car and, speeding really, slamming on the accelerator and then slamming on the brakes and then slamming on the accelerator and slamming on the brakes. You're going to wear the motor down. You're not going to have a very long lasting car. And that's kind of how we run our bodies. So the assist, the Metapower Assist, actually smooths out those blood sugar spikes. So what you do is you take one of these 15 to 30 minutes before your heaviest meal of the day. And it's going to do two things. One, it's going to turn the fast carbs into slow carbs so that you're not going to get the blood glucose spike. You're going to just get a smooth, sustained energy. You're going to find that you don't need an afternoon or an after lunch nap or an after dinner nap. And it's going to help to prevent the premature aging of your cells. And for somebody who's dealing with insulin resistance or blood sugar issues, they may even want to do it even more than one meal a day. They may want to do it every time they eat because of the reduction of that roller coaster.
Yeah. So what happens if you graze throughout the day? Because I don't have big meals. I have a small meal 6 times a day.
Right. So what's happening is, every time you eat, your blood sugar is spiking. So your blood sugar is spiking 6 times a day. Now, it may not be spiking as high. You would have to do a continuous blood glucose monitor. You see people wearing them on their arms to really see and track your numbers to see if it's anything problematic. But what they suggest is, to take this before your heaviest meal. So you could just decide which one that is.
That sounds like a good plan.
Yeah. So this was step 1 with the drink mix. The assist before your meal is step 2. And then step 3 is the Metapower Oil Blend. And this is a proprietary combination of essential oils. So we're talking about lemon, grapefruit, ginger, cinnamon, and peppermint.
Ooh, that sounds yummy.
It really is. I've got it in my water here. This is how I'm just drinking it throughout the day, but it comes in soft gels also. It also comes in a gum, and it comes in little beadlets that you can pop in your mouth. And the goal is to just get it in you throughout the day because it helps to keep your blood sugar level. It also helps to reduce cravings, especially for sugar. But the best thing about it is it stops fat cell maturation. And so our fat cells, when they're first produced, they're small and they're flat, but they start to fill up with fatty acids, and they get big and they start to take up more space. And that's when we start to grow. And so this Metapower oil shrinks your fat cells.
Sweet.
Actually showed photographs of human fat cells after exposure to the Metapower blend as they were doing their research over the last, I don't know how many years, to nail down the exact right combination and mixture to actually shrink those cells.
That's awesome. I can't wait to get my products and try them. I'm looking forward to that, and I'm going to keep track when I take them and the results I notice. So we've only got a few minutes left. So what's some of the results that you have seen in the and since you've been taking all of this, and how long have you been taking?
Yeah, so I lost 2 pounds in 4 days. 2 pounds in 4 days, which I'm perimenopausal. It is really hard for me to lose weight. I've been gaining weight over the last 2 years. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I've continued to lose weight. I'm now on day 16 and I've lost 8.5 pounds.
Wow, that's awesome.
Not really doing anything else differently. And my brain fog gone on day 1. Sugar cravings gone day 2. And so many of my friends who are using this, so many of my clients, everyone is experiencing things in their own way, depending on their own unique metabolism. Some people are seeing wrinkles disappear very quickly. Everyone's losing inches around their belly. So take pictures and do your measurements before you start getting on, and then just see. A lot of people are getting much better sleep, better mood, less fatigue, and just more clarity. It's just fantastic.
I've just wrote down here to take pictures and measurements before I start.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I actually have my little notebook over here that I keep track of everything in.
Yeah.
And you mentioned too that your dad started taking them as well, and how it's helping his recovery.
That's right. So, he had skin grafts. The skin grafts were having a hard time attaching. They started to attach as soon as he started taking the Advantage. He notices that his stamina for the physical therapy has increased on days when he takes the Advantage. My mom's
We
vision.
still got you there, Tiffany, or have we lost you?
Yeah, no, I'm here. Oh, are you there?
Come on, bring it back.
Okay, I'm here now. Can you hear
Okay,
me?
so am I. I disappeared as well. So, and I was sort of like, oh, I know my
Maybe
internet.
the universe is saying, "Your half hour."
Yeah, come on, times. So, yeah, my internet, everything's all signs are all good that we're good back on full strength
Oh,
again. So,
good. Yeah,
maybe it was a glitch between StreamYard and the others. I don't know.
I
So
actually,
your
yeah.
dad's getting more stamina on the day he takes the sachets. Sorry, I
Oh,
totally forgot what they're called.
mm-hmm.
Brain fog.
Absolutely, yeah. Yes, and he notices a difference. My dad's never been somebody to want to take supplements or anything like that, but he's asking me for this. Um, and let's see what else. Just I actually have a Facebook group that anyone's invited to join. We'll drop the link in the
The links are all down in the descriptions below.
perfect.
Of the videos. So down in the descriptions below, we've got the links so that people can get their own Metapower kit. We've got the Maximize Your Metabolism Facebook community link in there as well. And
there's a ton of testimonies in there. People will be able to see what everyone's experiencing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And then Tiffany did a class on the Metapower and the science behind it. And so there's a link to the YouTube video that you can go and see of that as well. And that's all in the description below the video. So please go take advantage of this, see this, because the results coming through on these are amazing. And if you're watching me daily on the podcast, you will get to see the results as we go along, because I'll be reporting in on how we are doing with that. But Tiffany, I wish we could talk longer. We'll have to get you back again, because I know you also have a really cool story that I would love for you to share with us on a different episode, because it's not to do with the doTERRA stuff, it's to do with something else, but it's all about living your best life now. So thank you so much for your time. I truly appreciate you taking time out of your evening to come and join us here.
And so happy to be here
and talk about one of my favorite topics, which is essential oils. I mean, I've got sitting here the tea tree oil. This stuff has stopped me taking antibiotics twice a year during season change. That's my testimony with the tea tree oil, is I would get seasonal allergies, which would lead to ear infections, which would lead to vertigo. Have not taken any antibiotics or had an ear infection since 2012, November 2012. That's 10 years coming up on that.
Yeah. It's all about
prevention. I use this stuff, the tea tree oil.
Yes.
Clary Sage, Clary Calm, any woman's got to have this.
Yeah.
This is good for any woman issues. Before, during, after, pre, post, whatever.
Cramps, hot flashes, PMS, mood swings, all that.
Even when my husband was in hospital for 87 days, the stress I was under with that, with having to go to the hospital every day and seeing him there and having to deal with that, I would put this at the base of my spine. In that little hollow at the base of the spine, I would put that there every morning, and that would help me get through the day in even moods and everything. I missed it one day, and it was noticeable. But thank you so much for coming on, and especially telling us about Metapower. I mean, that stuff is just so. I've been using doTERRA for 10 years now, I think. Yeah, because it was 2012 when I got introduced to doTERRA oils. I've been looking for in New Zealand. I was using essential oils down there, and when I moved up here, I could not find any really good quality essential oils. And then I happened to meet somebody at an event that had some doTERRA oils, and that was it.
Yeah, best in the world. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I've looked at other ones, and I'm not as impressed as I am with doTERRA and what they do. So, but absolutely love it. So, if you would like more information about the Metapower, you'd like to see some of the testimonies, or you would like, more about, or get your own kit, just go to the links that are in the description below here, below the videos, and that all the information is there. So you'll be connected with Tiffany that way. Tiffany, again, thank you. I truly appreciate you taking time out of your evening to come and join us and educate us.
It's always fun to talk to you, Helen.
Luckily we're on a time crunch on this one, because we can talk for hours. But anyway, So everybody, thank you for tuning in this evening and joining Tiffany and myself as we've been on this little journey this evening. And we will catch you guys back here tomorrow evening. Have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we'll catch you guys back here tomorrow. Hai konara.